Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back. I'm back here at Gettel Hyundai of Lakewood, Florida with this beautiful 2022 Hyundai Santa Cruz. Now this is the SEL premium model, and as you can see, it's a beautiful foggy December morning. I can't believe Christmas is around the corner, and if you were nice, you might find something like this under your tree. Would you like that? Well, I gotta tell you guys, I'm really excited about this truck. You might say, hey Matt, you've already done one, and yes, you would be right. I've done one a few months ago, but it was a sold unit, so I didn't have the opportunity to take it on the road and experience of how it drives. So today we're gonna do just that. I'm gonna take you on the tour of the exterior, interior, check out the engine, and finally, I'm gonna go on the road. I'm really excited to see how it drives. So if you're ready to go with me, let's go. But before we dive into the details of this vehicle, I gotta tell you, I really love the color on it. This one is dressed in this Mojavie Sand color, which I think they nailed it. It really looks like sand, and it's really very well fit for this vehicle. Now this is a sport activity vehicle or a compact pickup truck, however you want to call it. This is for people that like the active lifestyle, and yet they don't want to have the monster truck parked in their driveway. So I think Hyundai really is onto something, along with the Ford Maverick, which is another one of the small pickup truck, compact pickup truck. Well, let's take a look in the front of this vehicle. I had this vehicle on for a reason, because that turns on the daytime running light. You can see they're hidden, they're nicely hidden. Well, if I turn that off in a second, you'll see that they almost disappear in this grille, and it's a very innovative grille design. And I like this one in particular, how they did it. It's not a shiny black, it's not the chrome, it is the polished metallic. Some of the other trims have a little different grille, so you'll see that as well. And then these are the daytime running lights. The regular lights are right here, fully LED lights. They're incorporated in this lower portion of the bumper. And then I like how this grille continues at the bottom, big Hyundai logo, and then you have this matte black trim, and keep that in mind because I'll show you how that continues all over the rest of the car. But before we do that, we're gonna pop this hood, and the hood is nicely sculpted. You can see a little bit of a bulge right in the middle of that, nothing too crazy. It's still nice, stylish, and sporty. Pop this up. Let's see what hides underneath this one. Underneath the hood, there's one of two engine options available, and I gotta tell you, I'm excited about this one. You can see it's a turbo right here. It's a 2.5 liter engine, turbocharged, 281 horsepower, 311 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to a dual wet clutch automatic transmission, and it's able to go 0 to 60 in about 6.3 seconds. Now, the second engine options, which is available on the base model, is also a 2.5 liter engine, but it's not a turbocharged, and it only produces about 191 horsepower, and it's substantially less, almost 90 horsepower less than this one. So I'm really excited that I get to drive this one today. Now, one thing that I want to point out is this prop stick right here. I don't think this should be even a thing right now. And you know, some people say, hey, it's a cost savings. I think a lot of people would gladly pay $100 more to have a nice hydraulic strut on the hood. Now, as far as the engine compartment, as far as the insulation in here, you can see there's a nice insulation, sound insulation in here. Then there's some insulation in the firewall behind the engine. And the engine compartment overall looks really nice and clean. I can't wait to take it on the road. But before we do that, let's continue with the tour of this vehicle. Okay, so look at the side of this and let me know what you think about the design. I particularly like it. I think it looks a little bit like a Tucson in the front, like a pickup truck in the back, kind of a combination, which is also, you know, it's stylish, it's modern, and it's also rugged at some point. Remember when I pointed out to that matte black trim in front of it? Now guess what? It continues all around this vehicle, continues around the wheel wells, and then continues at the bottom of it, and then continues all the way back into the rear bumper. What's pretty cool about it, it does have some of the design on top of it. It kind of reminds me of those triangles on the front grille, which, you know, makes it look a little bit more tougher, a little bit more rugged as well. Now, as far as the wheel size, 18-inch wheels, pretty nice design, 245/60 on the height on the tires, so those are all-season tires, pretty nice as well. If you look at the design, the sand, Mojavie Sand color, I really like this. There's no chrome anywhere on this vehicle. It's only this and black, which really goes well together. And you can see you have some of the roof rails, which you can put some crossbars on it if you need to carry something else in here. You have your regular gas fill-up. And what's different about this and some of the other pickup trucks, well, this is a unibody design, which is not a body on frame, which means it's gonna have a fixed bed like we've seen on the Maverick as well. So there's no disconnect between the body and the bed. Now we're going to look at the bed right now because that's what makes this different. Okay, so a few things to point out in the back. It does have a combination lights, what I call it. It does have an LED, nice LED tail lights, but you know, the turn signals are actually incandescent, so it's got a combo on it. Some of the manufacturers do it for, you know, whatever reason it is. Now, as far as the bumper design, it is a pretty cool bumper. It does have some texture on the sides of here too, and as you can see right on the corners, it's got this corner step to help you get in or reach into this bed. It does have the rear view camera right here, Hyundai, that is basically embossed into this door handle, and guess what, the Santa Cruz that's embossed into the gate in here. H-Track comes standard with the SEL Premium 2.5T, which is a turbo one. That's the engine size that we have on here. Now, as far as how do you open this gate, it is a power lift gate, power down, and it does have the soft opening. Let's check it out. I'm going to open it up with the remote right now, so I don't even have to touch it, and see how nice it lowers down. Nice soft lower down. Now this one's also equipped with a tonneau cover, and that one can be retracted all the way to the back, which we're gonna do right now because I really don't need it to show it to you. I'd rather show you the entire bed in here. All right, we're in the bed area, so I got to show you a couple of things first. First of all, if you look at the back glass right here, it does have this window that actually opens up. Right on top of here, you do have a third brake light as well as the light for the bed, so you can illuminate the bed, and then you have a shark fin antenna on top. Zooming out of there, let's take a look at the sides of this bed right here. The same design as on the sides on the fender flares or fender molding right here. You have the same design, those triangle designs here, as well as you have them here. Now, as far as the suspension, the rear suspension is self-leveling, so it's always going to be, no matter what load, it's going to keep the vehicle level, which is pretty cool. And as far as the bed itself, it is on the short side, but you know, if you need to carry a mountain bike or something like this, there is an extension that is available that you can mount here, and that will give you about 2 extra feet. Now the bed is just over 4 feet long, so it's not really long, and it is it is 48 inches basically from side to side, but you have to see that there is these wheel wells that limit that 48 to about maybe 46 or 44 even on both sides, so you can't really fit like a plywood or drywall flat on here unless you actually put it on top of the wheel wells in here. Now, as far as the securing the cargo to it, you can see there's some tie hooks here, right here, 2 in the front, so there's a few of them that are fixed, and there also has this C-channel lock right here where you can adjust of where you're going to secure your cargo. What's interesting about this truck right here, it has the bed lights, the LED lights on both sides, and it does have a little bit of storage in here. Some of them, and I haven't opened this up yet, but some of them are also equipped, and this one does have it. It does have the power inverter, so it does have the regular household plug. Now ladies, if you're camping and if you want to use a hair dryer, this is not for it. It's only 150 watt, so basically light electronics, stuff like this, maybe a little bit of a power equipment, but not something that draws so much power. And there's another storage compartment right there. Now, we've seen something similar to this on the Ridgeline. We've also seen that on the Maverick that I showed you last time. This area right here opens up for more cargo, for more storage. Okay, let's open this up. It is a lot shallower than on the Ridgeline. However, it seems like it is waterproof too. It does have the drain plug. So guess what? If you want to put some ice in here, you want to throw some cold drinks in here and have a tailgating party, well, go for it, because you can do that. Okay, and this is it. Now, the gate closes manually. It feels a lot lighter than it is, but it's not powered up. And as far as the towing, now this one doesn't have a tow hitch, but up to 3,500 pounds, so a lot less than like a Toyota Tacoma or Jeep Gladiator, which can tow up to 5,000 pounds. Well, this vehicle was definitely designed with the driver in mind, because in the front I feel really comfortable. In the back, however, there's not a lot of room, especially, you know, if you have a 6-foot adult. I'm 6 feet tall. My knees are touching the backs of the seat. I do have plenty of headroom. I do have fairly good amount of shoulder room, so that's not an issue. The leg room would be, however. The interior itself, I mean, this one is fairly plain, but let me show it to you because there's a couple cool options in here. Before we get in there, let's take a glance at the door. And okay, this is all basically hard plastic, which, you know, we've seen that on Maverick. I complained about it a little bit, but I guess this is what you get in this class of a vehicle. You know, as far as the seats, I mean, the back seats are not really very much contoured. I mean, they're just there. This is basically a bench seat. Does this open up? No, it doesn't, but there's a very cool feature on here. Let me show it to you. Before we do that, let's just take a quick glance at here. As you can see, this is the amount of room that you have basically in the back. So once your feet go in there, that's fine. That's a pretty deep well, but the roominess between here, that's not the greatest in here. Also, you know, what's kind of surprising is that I would like to see maybe a USB charger, maybe an air vent or something like this to help with air conditioning this area. It looks like they designed the bed, they designed the front of it, but they kind of forgot about this. Okay, so let's check it out. This is this cargo organizer that's under the seat. The seats lock in place once you have them in the upright position like this, and you have the tools to remove and change the spare tire. This is your jack right there, and this particular one has the wheel locks. This is set, so you can see you have those screws that are securing this cargo compartment in here. But you know, the nice part about it is you can throw some stuff in here without people seeing it. Also, there's a little bit of a bump in the middle, not as pronounced as some other vehicles, which is good. Okay, let's check out the door. How it sounds pretty darn good. One of the things that I didn't mention to you, it is equipped with the smart entry system. As soon as I touch this, it locks the vehicle. The mirrors blink. It does have the blind spot assist. It does have the mirror, the turn signals on the mirror, but as soon as I put my hand in here, you can hear that it unlocks the vehicle. All I have to do is pull the door open right now. Well, the front door, just almost like the rear door. However, I can see that there's, well, only this part right here is the soft plastic. It's a little bit softer. Everything else in here is hard plastic. As well, they have this nice trim piece that's going on top of the door in here. And let's take a quick look. What do we have on the side? Okay, you have the light for the bed, traction control off, and the dimmer. Those are your switches. And on the driver's side only, it is a power control seats. It is an 8-way power adjustment on the seat. The seat also feels like it's a little bit more contoured than the back seat. Actually, I like this durable material on it. And let's get inside. Let's see what hides in there. Okay, so I gotta tell you, the interior of this Santa Cruz, it's actually pretty impressive. We've seen that before, but I want to point out a couple of things. Well, first of all, it does have this two-tiered dashboard, if you will. It has these vents that kind of break it up from the bottom portion to the top portion. Even though it is all hard plastic, this one's a little bit softer, I guess. Maybe, yeah, we can push this down. You can't push this down, but I mean, you have this trim piece that kind of breaks it down. You have those air vents that are incorporated nicely into the top portion of here, and they kind of continue as a wraparound for this infotainment system. It is a pretty cool design, if you ask me. Right here, push button start. And as far as the key, let's check this out. This is the new style Hyundai key. It does have the lock, unlock, hold for the door, hold for the panic button, and it does have a hold for the remote starter. So it also has the mechanical key that is inside of this. And some people ask me, well, there's no hole on the side of the door, and there is. You just have to remove the cover from the door handle. So let's take a look at this. Before we do that, let's get it started, because it is December, but it is kind of muggy and hot in here. So what do we have? Digital instrument cluster. Before we get to that, let's take a look at the steering wheel. Nicely leather wrapped steering wheel. Okay, does it feel good to the touch? It does. It's multifunction. It has leather. It has the polished aluminum, kind of the its own design, I would say. And you have buttons on the right hand side, on the left hand side. What do we have on the left hand side? Voice control, volume. You have your favorite button, you have your phone button, you have your mode button. These can be programmed. Mode button, this little star button, this is the custom button. These can be programmed. Once you press it, what happens is it opens this up and say, hey, what do you want this button to do? Check the options. You want the Bluetooth audio? Okay, that's what it's gonna do. And then hit OK to set it up. Same thing you can do with the star button, and that is basically it. We're gonna actually turn the volume down, or you can push it to mute it completely, which is fine. That's what we're gonna do. And let's see what's in here. So you've seen this instrument cluster in other models, and I'm gonna press the pages button here and see what happens. So see, the only thing that we can really control is this middle portion right here, and then you could have several different options. So you have driver clusters, if you can change the different design on the cluster theme selection. Okay, link to drive mode, you know, the classic A or classic B. All right, that's pretty cool. Classic C, cube. So yes, you can change these. And link to drive mode, basically what's going to happen is, let me show this to you. If you change the different drive modes on the vehicle, you will get a different, so snow, smart, sport, and normal. Normal is the one that we've seen as we got in. Sport turns everything into sporty red. Smart goes into a little bit more of a bluish kind of icy blue, and then snow goes completely white. So I mean, these are the themes that are available, and then you can select a cube if for some reason you wanted the cube on it. Let's go back in here and let's see what else is available in here. So attention level, high last brake, 0.2 seconds ago. Yep, so it basically monitors the driver's attention level. It checks the driving habits if somebody's veering off the road, and it kind of alerts you, say, hey, stay alert. So that's basically it in here. The second portion, drive info. Since refueling, you can basically change the different trips. User settings, done that. Cluster lights, door, digital keys. That's something that's definitely worth mentioning. enable digital key, and you can also add a smartphone key if you have not all Android devices are available, but a lot of them are. So if you have a smartphone, you can actually enable the smartphone key, and then you can basically pair it to the vehicle and use it as a key, which is probably the future of keys. Convenience. Okay, rear occupant alert. This is pretty cool because it's just gonna alert you before you exit the vehicle that say, hey, did you check and make sure that everybody's out of the vehicle. Welcome light, wireless charging, service interval, stuff like this. Let's go back and see the info. Tire pressure, drive to display, and that's basically what we have in here. Now the rest of the buttons on the right hand side of the steering wheel, these are the buttons for the cruise control and lane keep assist. So you can turn the lane keep assist on or off. Okay, and then you can turn the cruise control on if you'd like to, and then you can adjust it accordingly. So let's move on to the right hand side and let's see what we have here. Now this is the base. Now it's not base, but it is a fairly basic system. Let's go back to the home menu in here, and this is what you see. To start connecting Android Auto, press this widget. Okay, no devices paired, add new, vehicle name Santa Cruz. I'm gonna turn mine on and see how easy or how hard it would be to actually pair it. And okay, so let's see. So we popped Santa Cruz right here. Okay, we're gonna start pairing it. 650042 pair, connecting. And that should do it, I guess. We're not going to allow it to access to contacts or anything like this, but you have wireless Android Auto. Okay, continue, and here's your familiar screen with basically Android Auto features. It was that easy to connect it. So somebody tells me that it's hard to connect, I will not believe it because I just did it. Took me less than a minute. Anyways guys, so let's go back to the main screen and let's go back to the home screen for the Hyundai. All menus, phone, Blue Link, radio, media, Android Auto right now is on, voice memo and quiet mode. These are the Hyundai specific menu options. Voice memo, you can record a voice memo basically and retrieve it later. Quiet mode is going to limit the output for the speakers and limit it to about 7 in the front, and then it's going to turn those off in the back. Setup, different options that you can set up in here. You have device connections, display, buttons, so that's where you can customize some of the buttons. Like there's one right here, there's a little star button, mode on the steering wheel, star on the steering wheel, so you can customize all 3 of them when you hit it, and it's going to tell you what to do. You can tell it what to do, I should say. And go back to the previous screen. Climate control, Wi-Fi, display, this is pretty much it. Automatic day night light, blue light filter, if you'd like to, you can turn that on, so it's gonna be easier on your eyes. And let's go back to the main menu. I didn't really see much difference, but that's probably more pronounced at night anyways. And this is your instrument cluster. At the bottom of here you can see that there is a dual zone climate control, different for passenger, different for the driver. You can hit that sync button to sync it up to the driver if you'd like to. And then the buttons don't have any feedback when you touch it. Some of the other vehicles have a little bit of feedback, so you know when you touch that. This one actually make noise, which I guess it's all right too. And then your temperature control. Then the bottom here you have the USB port, you have your 12-volt power outlet, you have your wireless charging, which is right in here. And that's actually how you pair your digital key if you had it. And then you have the regular shifter, leather wrapped shifter with a little bit of aluminum, really feels nice to the touch. You can actually switch that to the manual mode, and you can switch the gears 2 different ways. Like if you put it in the manual mode, right, you put it right here and you shift it up and down, or you can use your pedal shifters right on the steering wheel too. Cup holders, decent size. That's where you change the drive modes. We already went over that. You can lock your central diff lock, which is pretty cool. So in case you get stuck, it might be able to, it'd be easier to actually get out. Hill descent assist, auto hold. You press that button if you're in gear like we are right now. See what I do? Okay, is the auto hold on? Yep, auto hold is on. I press the brake and I released it, right? The car is in gear, but it's not moving. Now it will start moving when I press the accelerator, okay? And then it's gonna release the brake, it's gonna start moving. So that's basically what that auto hold button is all about. Okay, what do we have here? You can turn on your camera on. You can do that if you put it in reverse. So let's check out how good the camera is. Trajectory lines, pretty decent. Okay, and it's not a 360, and basically it's a fairly basic camera. There's really no settings other than display settings. And then you have a top-down camera, which is pretty cool. If you are trailering, if you want to tow something and you want to attach the trailer, it's going to tell you that this is a straight line going into the hitch. So that's your rear view camera. What else do we have? Let's move up here at this console right here. All you have is your sunroof control, just a regular sunroof. It's not a panel, but I don't think any of them have a panel right now. And then you have your lights, LED lights, and your Blue Link system. This is it. This is the interior of it. Quite impressive, even though I gotta tell you, I wish it had more room in the back. But speaking of room, now this seat right now is moved all the way back, and I'm 6 feet tall, and I like have to reach all the way with my foot to actually hit the brake all the way. So it's plenty of room in the front, not so much in the back. Well, I can't wait to take it for a spin. Well guys, I'm ready to take this one for a spin, and I gotta tell you, we're gonna talk a little bit about pricing while driving it, because it is an exciting time. Somebody's coming to see this vehicle, but I still have it for a few minutes so we can test drive it. So overall, there's several different trim levels. There's an SE, SEL, SEL Premium, and Limited, and they range anywhere from about $25,000 for the base one to about $40,000. That's before you start adding any of the factory options on this. This one is basically equipped as from the factory, and the total MSRP on this one's $37,515. That's including destination charge, and I'll put it in the link in the description of this video. Before we get on the road, let's quickly take a look and see how this vehicle turns. So steering wheel all the way, and there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and just a little bit, just over 4. So pretty standard for the, you know, mid-size or small pickup truck. It's not going to turn on the dime. It's not going to turn like the shorter wheelbase vehicles, but it's very comfortable. It sits up higher. It almost feels like you're sitting in. It sits up higher than the Tucson, I would say, and which is a good thing. It gives you a great visibility all around the rear windows, and there's a little bit of blockage there. And if you adjust the mirror right, I mean, you have just the right amount to see what's going on in the back, but the visibility in the back is not the greatest on this vehicle, but you won't get that on any pickup trucks just because the way it's designed. Feel of it, I like the way that the steering wheel lays in your hand. We'll see. One of the features that I'm missing, and I know that it's standard unlimited, but it's not on the SEL Premium, is the blind spot, the turn signal monitors, where you basically, your instrument cluster turns into rear view camera to see what you have in your blind spot. But you know, that's something that I guess can live without, although it would be a nice feature. Now, stop, sport mode, on throttle. It's pretty peppy. It definitely has some guts to it. It keeps on going. You can feel the engine is not the annoying noise. The 2.5 liter, we checked that out in other models. I really like it. Maybe a little bit of a turbo lag, but you know, 6.3 seconds 0 to 60, not bad. The way I have the screen set up right now, I can see where the power is going to. So the power, like if I hit that, it will go about, I would say, 70% front wheels, about 30% back wheels, which gives you a pretty good, you know, balance as far as driving on the dry conditions, and that's going to adjust to the road conditions ahead of you. So this is pretty cool. Overall, easy to maneuver, good visibility up front. I like it. Me turn this around, and we're going to take that back to the dealership so somebody can take a look at it and maybe buy it. If not, guys, it is available at the time of this filming at Gettel Hyundai of Lakewood, Florida, and I'm sure those guys will be happy to sell it to you if you decide to buy one. So I'll post the link and the phone number in the description of this video if you want to check them out. Give them a call. All right, pretty good to maneuver. On throttle again. I like that. Some people were complaining about this dual clutch transmission. It's not jerky at all. I mean, it's very accurate if you ask me. It knows the gear is ready as soon as it's ready to shift, so that's what makes it smooth. I think it's a great entry-level pickup truck for people who like to have the active lifestyle, who have to go camping, maybe occasional trip to a hardware store to carry something. I wouldn't use it for, you know, a construction business, because that's not what it's made for. But definitely a great product, another great product by Hyundai. I like this. I would definitely give it a thumbs up. Guys, if you like watching videos like this, check out the rest of my channel. I really appreciate if you subscribe to it. It really helps me out a lot. Doesn't cost you anything. And I will see you in my next video. Cheers.